Fatykhov Ayrat is. Anders Nielander is Anders is his first name, obviously. But some of the in the database and on the brackets and this, that, and the other, some people were listed first name first, and some were listed last name first, and I'm not sure about Fatykhov Ayrat. Okay, so a 5-3, a 6-1, both get nice pointing numbers early on. Now, I think what I suspect, I don't think we ever streamed Fatykhov this week. I did see him, play a little bit, just walking around the room on occasion and so forth. And I think we're going to see another very fast-paced player. I think Nielander is going to be a much more I don't know what we want to say, deliberate player or whatever. He's going to be more traditional in that regard, is what we've seen. Now, you can see here we do have an extra feed, and we'd like to thank Justin Knoll for providing that service. Pardon me. Okay, well, Nielander's kind of, by virtue of some rolls, got heavy on the 6 and the 8, or 6 and the 7. This is kind of a, he's 24 pip lead, but just, regrettable structure here. Nothing he wants to write home about. Hopes nobody takes a picture of it before he unstacks them. But of course, he's on the stream, so everybody sees those stacks. Yeah, Joe. I should have looked. I didn't. I do know the 4, shall we say, semifinalists. The last 4 guys with 2 losses. Before they started their semifinal matches, I witnessed them all jointly meeting and agreeing upon some type of mutual hedge among the 4 of them, and all signed off on it. But I didn't get so nosy as to stick my head into it. So there are there were some hedges going on. I think first place, and again, I didn't really look at the numbers, but they're into the mid to high 5-figure range, I'm thinking. And of course, there was some side pool action as well. There was a morale. The final 4 did, and I don't know if it was some kind of even split. I would suspect, it was shared in some fashion, but typically you would expect the victor to realize a bit more than the others, but they certainly did enter into some kind of a group hedge arrangement, but I don't know the particulars of it. And it kind of worked out good for the tournament and the scheduling of the tournament and the scheduling of an ultimate final here. Beginning this morning, there were 6 players remaining, 1 with 1 loss and 5 with 2 losses. And in those first 3 matches, where, of course, there were 2 pairings of 2 lost players, you were going to get rid of 2. But the match that included a 1 lost player and a 2 lost player, the 2 lost player won. So that ended up giving us 4 2 lost players. So then it's just like a 4-player knockout after that. So, eliminated the potential of another round, and also eliminated the potential of a second final match here. So both with 2 losses, this is it. So here we go. Fatykhov obviously counting the raise. He'll find himself up by 2. I don't think that's going to be adequate for him to cube, but certainly close enough that he should have considered it, as he did. Typically, and there are some further considerations with score and distribution and so forth, but something on the order of a standard rule of thumb would be a 10% pip count advantage to allow one to double. Okay, so again, it's dead even pip count. Fatykhov is looking at it again. We can see by the XG feed it's a no double take. He is a 60% favorite, but that's not adequate. We appreciate everybody watching today. We're up to close to 300 viewers here. Be sure to smash that like button for Mark Olson. We don't want him getting upset with any of us. And of course, hitting that like button not only serves Backgammon Galaxy's YouTube channel, but it serves Backgammon as a whole, as it enhances some search engine algorithms and what have you. So take that small effort to hit that like button. Okay, so well, now he's probably he's 10 pips ahead after that roll. Let's see what now he might. He's only going to be 5 up, but Nielander has much better distribution. Fatykhov has that open 2-point and heavy on the 5 and a 6. So I think he's going to he'll count this and then roll on. Brandon Macklin is in the house. My man. I gave it a little shout out to Galaxy there, and some of the other sponsors, and I'm not familiar with them, but an organization called Daman Markets was apparently an exclusive sponsor, and all of us in Backgammon thank those who support the game. And then, of course, Patrick Jabelli and his group, he puts his heart and soul and tremendous enthusiasm and energy into this tournament, and it was a spectacle. And he's got grand plans to do it again next year, and I would encourage everybody to make an attempt to check it out for yourself. And neat city, neat place. Just great tournament amenities and what have you. So think about it. Okay, so what do we got? We got 12 checkers against 11 checkers. Very close rate. Whoa, well that unless he pours one on top of him in reply, that pretty much did it. That's not going to work. So cash in this 1-0 Nielander. Bill Finneran is in the house. Hello. Mr. Finneran. Okay, 1-0 Anders Nielander. He wants to add the Oasis 2023 championship to his trophy case, which, among other things I've been told, he's past winner of the Nordic Open and past winner of the Swedish Open. So, you know, nice resume. Fatykhov, Ayrat, I'm not familiar with. And I should have maybe done a little research, but I didn't have time to research. Well, and maybe even in this tournament, I'm reading a chat line here with Stubby and others, and hi Richard, that you know, maybe dice on checkers is more appropriate with these reduced clock settings as well. No, Richard, both these guys have 2 losses, so this is the ultimate final. This is it. These checkers are kind of thin and kind of real sharp edges in a sense. So, and they're light. Very light. So some liked them, some didn't. Guess that's always the case. Well, I hope we got some rain at my house out there too. Okay, so back in. Hits the one. Does he hit the second? Probably so. Always something to be said for 2 in the air. Enters with both, putting a checker of his own in the air. Ooh. Not good to dance on a 2-point board. I always hate that. It's a second one. Okay, now, what's the count? He's up 8. No, he's down 18. Make the 3-point. So Mr. Fatykhov Ayrat, Fanders doesn't perform, and he doesn't in a sense, but okay, so he gets them both in. I was, and I don't know that he ever had a double. He had 4 and 5 back, but he also had quite a few checkers in the zone to perhaps blitz attack himself. But it stayed in the center, and here we are. And we got 2 in the air on the other side of the table. And now again. It can pass. And now Fatykhov, I'm going to say I'd certainly be considering it, but it remains still yet a fairly sizable no double. Nice shot, hitting, maybe not. Guess he's looking that he could make the 6-point as well and kind of end this hitting exchange, but can't be. I don't think it's wrong. If it is wrong, it's not wrong by much. So I would hit. Okay, he eschews the hit, as they say. Got in the shoe for this game too, and that was pretty sizable there. Not exactly. You're not going to hold that 2-6 game very long anyway. So let's see what happens. Okay, 3-1. I think he misread it. And that's yeah, that's he just absolutely misread that. He thinks it's a 3-2.
Oh, sorry. I thought so.
Fatykhov corrects him. So now he's going to see the hit. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Vegas, Oscar. Okay. You do. I think I like this one. He could have safety to the mid, but I kind of like this one myself. Joe Urso. And we're going to race halfway around the world to get to Las Vegas, and Joe Urso isn't going to be there. Gee. Okay, 5. Well, let's think about that. Yep, 5 and 3 in. Wow, now what's he do with this? Hits it, I guess. High risk, high reward. Boom. Yeah, I like the 10-7 also, but let's see. Yes. Stubby's not coming. Urso's not coming. I guess we're going to be streaming thin air. Now, here we go. Let's see. Mr. Fatykhov Ayrat is only up by 68 pips. But that's pretty big. Too good to double and pass. Big, huge pass. Well, he tends to want to drop it. He'd reached to drop it once and reconsidered. Yeah, that's smell like Brandon Macklin. He's good for streaming all the way around. He's not playing and getting on the stream. Okay. Y'all probably almost caught me dozing off. I'm running on empty here. But nice bar point 6-1. What's his other options? He make no. I don't know. I don't like to bury that. Although once you slide it, you may as well make it. You got to make it ultimately. But with the option of being able to make the bar, I'm going to go ahead and make the bar. Yeah, Verso in there. The field just got easier. Brandon, you might need to get out there. Three, 5. One. Split the back. They do have coffee in Dubai. I'm not a coffee drinker, but Tara's been drinking a fair amount, and we've been so busy and getting so little sleep that helps to fuel the body sometimes. There, ooh, dancing on the 2-point board. Come on down with another one. No, he's going to step up. 316, it wanted to run all the way with the back. Okay. Get any rum. You can get pretty much what I've seen. You can get pretty much anything you want. And it's interesting, as a digress, some of y'all are talking various Dubai type stuff. Actually, there's 9-hour differential right now. There may be a difference outside of daylight saving times. It may be 10, but and it I'll agree. It took Tar and I. I'm not sure. We're still totally time acclimated, and we've been here 10 or 11 days. For whatever reason, there's not that many time zones differentially, but it hit us a lot harder than many of our frequent European journeys do. You know, it's funny, and I should pay more attention and not digress so much, but y'all talking coffee makes me think it's pretty interesting. Apparently, one of the big chains of sorts in Europe, and maybe even some outlets in the States and so forth, is, what's it called? Joe and the Juice or something like that. And as it turns up, and I'm going to forget his name right now, but good friend of Mark Olson's and been in a Monte Carlo tournament the last couple of years and so forth and so on, is the owner of Joe and the Java, or Joe and the Juice. Okay, here's that 2 cube by Red. Now he's got, 8 checkers on the 8 point? That's got to be a liability, and it is a no double and a take. That's going to be hard to successfully clear, successfully and safely clear. Casper something other has been in Monte Carlo the last couple of years, and he and Mark Olson played doubles together and are good friends and what have you. Okay, I and it was a big take, and Fatykhov took it. A set of deuces will play very nicely, and he still that helped him a lot, but he still got 6 checkers on that 8 point. So if there's any 5s in his future, that could cause him a problem. 4s, he can handle that one. So see what it's kind of interesting. Fatykhov took that cube, which was a big take, and so far, and what's this coming up? 5-3. Now he can go heavy to the ace, but Nielander rolled what, deuces and 4s, and cleaned up a lot of that mess. Now he needs one more roll to capitalize on his cube, and that's not the roll he wanted. So give me a 4, says Fatykhov. I started to say any 4, well, not the combo 4s, just a 4. 11 numbers. Okay. Didn't get it. Okay. There's some. You can clean it up. You can also leave some blots. Pick and pass will work. Okay, so Anders is likely to bring this home. He was very fortunate, I think, to he had a, I guess it was a narrow double and a huge take, but he successfully cleared those 8 checkers on that 8 checkers on the 8 point. So, this one is essentially over. Roll 3 sets and maybe save it, but that's not it. So, so much for it. 3-1 Anders Nielander. I want to take this break between the games here just to quickly say how much, how appreciative and gratified Tara and I are for being Patrick showing his faith and confidence in us and having us provide all of the streaming and commentary services here for the Dubai International Cup. And we love what we do. We hope y'all enjoy the product that we put out there, and we like to think that we really serve well a number of tournaments that utilize our services. So thank you very much, Patrick, and to all of the Backgammon community. Okay, so now again, this ace that helps a bit. Step up. I was going to say if he danced or if depending on what he rolled, Fatykhov might have had a little bit of an itchy trigger finger. He was up 37 pips before the roll. 34 pips after the rolls, but he'll roll on. Had he had that roll went otherwise, he might have had some inclinations to send it on that. Now he's going to make the bar, I would suspect. Yeah, although XG doesn't like that. 13,984. 3-2. Here it comes. 36 pip lead. Looks like a good double. It's very similar to that previous one. Well, take that back. That was a 360 take. This is 360 pass, and Nielander recognizes it as such. Fatykhov. Now tell me, Boris, and welcome. I'm confused, and I'll blame it on the tournament a little bit. Some names they put into the database surname first, and some names they put in given name first. What's Fatykhov? Wrong way. Fatykhov. What's his surname and what's his given name? Just out of curiosity, Boris. Apparently, Fatykhov is his last name. I see. Certainly, Boris's earlier statement implied that. Anyway. Okay, now, and it's interesting, and I had, not that these guys are necessarily playing slowly, but seems like slow motion after those two guys in the intermediate division. They were playing warp speed, and they weren't wasting any time throwing a cube around either. But made for an entertaining and fun match. 2 matches, I think. There you go, GL. It's a few things tougher. Sub, you can play both directions, either direction, just whatever suits your fancy, doesn't matter. Now I will note too, it's a very beautiful board, and it does have the Burj Khalifa and atmosphere, or the atmosphere logo and the Burj Khalifa image the winner will receive the board as well as a, I guess, recognition of their victory. Be nice now, Alec. Yeah, I guess you're right, Richard. One of them's always going counterclockwise, but you can play from your perspective. You can play either way, counterclockwise or clockwise. Okay, so Nielander, Anders, very nice guy. In fact, I've gotten to know him a little bit over the last few days. Social worker in Denmark. Got a big 39. What is it after the shake? 35 pip lead. Nice structure, extricated back checkers. I'd be getting tempted where I am. 6-4 makes the bar. 6-4 also makes the 5. Okay, so it's Ayrat, Fatykhov. I don't know. I'd have to hear it in person, worse. But yeah, he seems like an extremely nice guy. Seems to be very even personality and what have you. Seems to really love and enjoy the game as well. So, Mr. Manuel. Okay. Again, he got that to a 47 pip racing lead, but he's kind of some odd distribution. And Ayrat, I guess it is. Is that Ayrat? What? I'm going to wear Boris out trying to help my pronunciation here. Okay. Going to pay now. Gets it. Okay, so I've got to be, I don't know, what's the score? 3-2, no double still yet. Fairly substantially no double. He sends it, but, and I would have been tempted to send it too. I'll be the first to admit. It's a big take. It was a fairly sizable no double, so I'm guilty too. But let's see what happens. .48 pip lead. Now, for next, that's a nice shake. I was going to say, Ayrat has, a little bit of timing that he can sustain and hope that something goes awry for Anders in this bear end. Ayrat. We'll say Ayrat. Now, okay, he's able to sustain that roll. This is going to be kind of a awkward and flexible position to be rolling from. So let's see what happens. Okay, he just Okay. Now, obviously, the timing has went to pot. He should fairly safely bring this one home. Not too many sequences that would force him to leave a shot. Ayrat Fatykhov. Okay. It's funny how often those train wreck double fours, double threes, and things like that come out. Gary Olson. Kind of interesting too, just glancing at these PRs here. You know, Anders has played a really very solid match so far. Getting a little luck on his side and playing 3.08. Hard to, hard to go wrong there. So now it's just, and he's not in any real danger of getting G'd, but his decision is when do I leave? Probably now. Yep. Because okay. Six, 4. Oh, I like an high. Ayrat Fatykhov. Okay. 4-3. Here's that. So looks like a are you gone? Thank you so much for your hospitality and hosting us here. Good evening. Our the general manager of Atmosphere is really leaving for the evening, and but what a and Patrick and he are good friends. Apparently, Mr. Manuel used to run some club in London, and Patrick frequented that, perhaps even directed some tournaments there, and they got to know each other that way. And then subsequently, Mr. Manuel ends up the general manager of Atmosphere in Dubai, and Patrick's been living here and working in Dubai for 23 years, I think he said. So they connected again, and that led to the finals of the Oasis International Cup being at the Atmosphere Lounge and Restaurant, 122nd floor of the Burj Khalifa. Truthfully, I don't know what the prizes are. I didn't see them. Maybe I should have went and looked, but I wasn't playing, so it didn't interest me, I guess. Okay, set of 5s, that'll work. But not much to be done with that. He's down 5-2 in the match, 20 pip lead, but he's got a lot of ground to traverse with the twins back here that haven't moved, and the You know, it's kind of interesting, and I don't know, Brandon, again, I haven't followed it at all. I don't really know. Didn't have any need to do so. But it's interesting. They had where we in the States use the term jackpot for, they use the word bonanza. They had a number of your, you know, typical little side event bonanzas, you know, 7-point knockout type things and things of that nature. But then they had a super bonanza, which was like a 500 euro entry, and I guess there were rebuys as well. But they had 110 entrants in the super bonanza, and then they had the mega bonanza, which was like including registration or whatever. There was it was like 1,200, and they got a 32 bracket there. So you know, there were quite a few players wanting to play in these bonanza events as well. Set of fours, that hurts. Set of fours hurting the prior game. Okay. And wasn't really any way to do anything without leaving a blot somewhere, and there it is, double pass, but picks it up. Fours, fives. Okay, does that, and that takes away the Joker 5, bringing it all the way around. Joker double 5. Nice comeback, Amir. But okay, Anders is trying to figure out how exactly to play that. We can see from the XG analysis at this point it's too good to double. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. The XG like 9565. So, you know, with a crunched board on the far side, you don't have to be quite as respectful of you know, getting trapped by a good board or a good banner. Oh, seems like every time this lack of sleep catching up with me, Tara switches over to the commentator cam. Okay, this is going to be tough for, although Ayrat is crunched. It's also a position that's going to be very difficult for Anders to bring home. Not sure about this. He can do that. I think that's probably, that's my reaction, was to do that. But, and as it ends up, that's XG's preferred. Then you're playing with a single blot, not as much combined ground to traverse. Set of fours will work. Now, what do we do? He can make the 6 point. He could also, and that's doubtlessly the right roll, he could also start moving from people from the 21 point. Now, no double and tag. Yeah, he's just got, he has no cover for that blot over there, and still got some two guys in the two guys back. Now it's getting still not there, but it's getting increasingly close. And that one actually was a thin double, certainly by virtue of the trailing score. Dances again. Now I gotta think he's sending this. Yeah, it's just getting more and more significant. Okay. Boom, he's in. Ayrat's got a, well, now it's obviously not a, okay. So, it's interesting how to bring this home, but slip back to no double, but it's a thin no redouble. He's trailing 5-2. Huge take, so I suspect Anders is playing a pretty solid match. So I suspect that he wouldn't let it go, and Ayrat knows that. 6-2 will go to the 5 point. So now they're nine pips away from each other. Okay, I'll buy that. We still got that 12 pip lead. I'm sending this. He doesn't. He should have. I think that's called losing your market. Yeah, so he's got to just cash it now. There it is. Drop. So, let's see.
Oh. Thank you.
I haven't seen him talk in a while. Is old Eric Peterson still in the house? I was curious, or if anybody else is listening that's at the playing venue. That's the stream's supposed to be being broadcast on some of the projection screens, maybe even the bigger TV we're using as well. But all that was supposedly going to happen, such that the people at the venue could watch the final, because it was in a inaccessible location otherwise. So hopefully that came to pass as planned, and they had that opportunity. And shout out to everybody there at the Hyatt Regency. It's interesting. Just looking at the XG summary there, and it's true for both of them. Although, the numbers are a little bit higher for Ayrat than Anders, but Anders or Ayrat, well over half of his XP loss is on late doubles or delayed doubles, and it's just costing. But by the same token, well, not maybe 40%, 45% of Anders is for the same reason. So they've both been a little shy with the cube. $392 viewers at the moment. Now we got to crack 400, and I hope all of y'all are hitting that like button. Always nice to enhance the numbers. The Google algorithms and search engine algorithms give some enhancement to those with higher numbers of views and likes and things of that nature, subscriptions. So smash that like button. Hey, the 6-2 lets you make the 4-point, but behind in the race and owner of a kind of a awkward structure and distribution. Nice roll. Fives you can run, but you can't hide. Might have been considered potential to have made the 5-point rather than play those second pair of fives than the way that he did. Big no double, huge take. So he got some work to do to save those checkers on the 18-point. One. Perhaps Anders will, and that's not it. I was going to say perhaps he'll have an opportunity to run one or more of those back checkers while Ayrat's got a 3-point board. And, Anders' board only being a 4-point board with 3 and 4 open is nothing to write home about either. 4-2. I don't know. I mean, at some point, you just got to figure you got to let some of those guys go. Double fours. What's he up? Now he's still going to be down 10. So being down 10, he doesn't want to give up that midpoint. He wants to keep the pressure on those checkers on the 18. But we'll see. Okay, he's set of fours really helped Anders there. 22 pips up. 5-3 lead. Double and pass. I'd perhaps come to that conclusion before I glanced over at the XG thing. This is a huge pass. Not much way to, not much hope to get a shot to pick up one of those trailing checkers, and you're down 22 pips, so there's no real future in that. So 6-3 Anders Nielander. It's interesting what we started with 14 minutes, so they both used right at 9 minutes. So still plenty of time. They're almost equivalent in time, so nobody's in time trouble of any sort. So, Anders about half the PR that Ayrat has. So he's played a very solid match to date. Almost even luck, so that's it's always nice to see. Matches sometimes can be unduly influenced by disparate dice. 6-4 make the bar point. Yep. Okay, so I think what does he do? 3-6. Look at that. He never seems to fail. Sends the cube. He lets it go. 6-4. It's too good according to that. XG. That's 4-2. 5-4. Well, he brings them down rather than splitting. I've run 383. Have we ever cracked 400 yet? I'm waiting. 6-5 to run. Okay. Now it's 3, not enough. 13 pips up, but just doesn't double and take because of score. But he just, it's a very thin double. Now, perhaps if he can get away with this gel break, which he doesn't, I was going to say perhaps if he got away with that, he might send it. But having been sent back, we'll wait a bit. Ace-6. It's and apparently, and it's not distracting to them to have the cameraman walking all around. I know doing commentary this week, they would oftentimes, stop and take some shots in front of us and here and there, and it doesn't really bother you. It didn't bother me. You don't notice it, but I guess some people might be a little intimidated by the still photographer like that. Okay, what is that? 7 pips with the lead? Probably not, and it's not. Well, Georgia, it's a Swiss format, and they played 9-point rounds throughout the tournament, so they've just carried that forward, I guess, carried it through, whatever. And typically with a Swiss format, you're going to play a lot more matches, a lot more rounds than you might in some kind of a single elimination, progressive constellation, whatever. So, through a couple of avenues, they try to speed up the play somewhat. One of it's reduce match lengths. Others, in this instance, is reduce time settings. So keeps things moving on a bit, which I think generally everyone has no problem with. But we'll see. It's interesting. I was having a conversation over dinner a night or so ago with Jürgen Orlowski, I guess, from Germany. And we were talking about reduced time settings and this, that, and the other, and match lengths. Here he is with the 10 pip lead. So this is right on the cusp, probably. Double pass. It's a very thin pass. But certainly within the margin of human error. But he takes it. Here we go. Now this could, the consideration he's got, though, is Anders is 3 away, and he's now playing with a 2 Cuban play. Oh, let's see. Well, it was a cusp take, and hasn't panned out. And he's going to find himself down, Crawford 5 away. So this is going to be...
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
He has 3 lives in the Swiss format, so
2, 3. I'm not sure. I think
shorter points, shorter match length points.
Okay. Yeah.
Look at this. Six, 3. So Anders is poised to claim these 2 points. Ayrat Fatykhov is found himself in a hole here now. Six, 4. If we and this is going to be a single 2-point game for Anders, going to 8-4 Crawford. But and we can look at the PRs, and it's kind of interesting. I'd say from my perspective, at least, Anders has not played a spectacular game. Doesn't jump out at you as if it were Mochi or Victor or Zdenek or something like that. But certainly he's played a very, I don't know, let's call it credible or whatever game. 4-2-2 is, kind of a quiet, good game. I'm impressed. I'd never met the guy. I don't even recall having heard his name. But he's played well. And then Ayrat Fatykhov, actually, he was the last player with a single loss before losing at whatever the round that was this morning, round 12, I think. So he had a great run, 10-1, I guess, at one point, and then what? 1-1, lost one, 1-1, lost one. So he's got a. I'm sure he's disappointed that perhaps he won't win, but second out of 169 players is not bad. It's not that from my perspective. It's not that expensive for U.S. players. The fares, and Emirates Airlines has daily nonstops from, I think, 13 U.S. cities, and relatively reasonable fares. So, in the hotel venue, had some pretty reasonable rates, which included breakfast, and so it's not bad. Really, not bad from my perspective. I think the thing that for some of the, say, Americans and others who might have, had to fly long distances to come to the tournament, that a 4-day tournament perhaps doesn't allow one to amortize those travel expenses over a longer time period that one might want to. And one of my suggestions to Patrick toward next year is going to be related to perhaps lengthening the tournament in some regards to provide a more to do, more to see. Maybe it's some of the European tournaments like the Cyprus and even Monte Carlo and others. It's a week or 8 or 9 or 10 days even, and that seems to be again, you can amortize your travel and lodging expenses. Well, your lodging expenses go up, but your travel expenses over a longer period of time, and so that's important, I think. So you asked me that. I think for a single, it was like $150, and maybe 179, 229 for double and triple, something on that order. So it wasn't bad. I saw some people on the chat during the week talking about it being expensive and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, they're talking about the rooms being expensive, and I'm like, man, have you looked at some of the other tournaments lately? I thought these were actually fairly attractive. Now it's seems like it's been a constant in this match, and that Anders is once again very way ahead in the pip count, and this time Ayrat Fatykhov's got a 3-5 game, which perhaps is not the most ideal. Not much timing left on the other side, so he might soon be having to give up one of those anchors. 5-3. So let's see if Anders can navigate bearing in and bearing off without getting a hit here, leaving the shot and or getting hit. Ayrat's got a 6 prime starting with his 2-point over there. Didn't like to move the checkers quite that fast if he could help it, but okay, it's going to come down to the next roll or two, but we're oh, that hurts. So he may as well leave with one of them. He doesn't want to get crunch any more than he has to. 429 viewers.
Oh, here it is. Yes.
So Anders is very close to claiming this championship. 6-5. Well, now he's next roll's really awkward for him, but he has to leave the shot, and Ayrat has to hit it. So here we go. This could determine the championship right here. 6-2. That is a shot. So looking for a 5, direct or combo. What is that? 15 numbers? %, chance. That's a miss. What excess baggage fees? $6-3. Well, that's a shot. And you kind of determine which shot it is. Probably my play. Okay. As I've been known to say, where there's a gap, there's hope. But that's the only hope Ayrat has left. $6-5 now. What? 4-1-5-1-6-1. 4-3. That is ball game. So we have a champion of the 2023 Oasis International Cup here in Dubai. And that champion is Anders Nielander from Denmark. And played 3.73, picked up a fair number of good dice in the last couple of games. The luck factor was right around 0 for most of the match, and ends up with +2, which isn't too disparate. But congratulations to Anders Nielander. Congratulations to Ayrat Fatykhov for making the finals. And wow, this has been fun. There's his wife. She was here and sat by his side pretty much through all the matches. And Tara and I really enjoyed ourselves. Neither of us had ever been to Dubai, and so we wanted to take advantage of the opportunity that Patrick offered us to provide all of the streaming and commentary services for this great tournament, and we were thrilled. It was a lot of fun. And it was as spectacular as we thought it would be. There's Mike Savadny in the house. Didn't know he was here. And then, we look forward to coming back next year and encourage everyone to put this on your bucket list. This is one you should try to make. And it's a lot of fun. So here we are. The tournament is over, and wow, enjoyed it. Thanks so much to Patrick Jabelli for all of the work he put into this, and for weeks and months he's been nonstop working at it, and of course. As anybody who's directed tournaments knows, this week he's probably gotten very little sleep. And okay, I guess we're not really in a situation where we can talk to the players or anything. The commentary area is rather small room off to the side. So I guess we're going to wrap it up. Thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks to Tara for her normal great production.
Well, this was totally crazy to do a remote final.
How was the
And there's Swobo.
Swobo, how are you doing, man?
Not every day you see Swobo. There's Swobo.
How was the fight? Wow, what a nice place to have it.
Wasn't this a neat place to have it? It was
very well.
It was pretty well played. This Anders Nielander from Denmark, who's apparently been around a while, but I wasn't familiar with him. He's won the Nordic, he's won the Swedish Open, and he played. What do you end up? A little under 4. So he played a good, solid match.
Very good.
Very good, solid match.
By the time they get to the finals, they're tired and
right. So it was great. We had a good time, and it was funny that they played the intermediate final prior, and they ended up having to play 2 matches. So one of them had 1 loss, one to 2 losses, and the 2-loss guy come back and won both. But it was funny, and they were both. Iranian, and I was kidding. They were playing warp speed, right? I made the comment about one of them. I said, he's playing like he's afraid he's going to miss his plane. And then I said, well, they seem like they're both on the same plane.
I thought more people would come and watch.
No, it's such a space, small space.
Difficult to get anybody in. It's a security thing. So
okay, so good night, everybody. Thanks so much. We'll see you streaming Thursday in Las Vegas. So thanks a lot. Good night.